Oh,
Hi.
hey, how's everyone doing? What's going on? What's happening?
How are you all? Oh my goodness, it's so nice to see you all again.
It's
It's
so
been
nice to be seen.
yes, it's been like what, like a
A
week or
week.
something? Like, oh my God, it's been like a minute.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Happy Wednesday, everyone.
Woo!
So,
So excited, and I just can't hide it.
I mean, listen, I was so excited I could just spit. And hopefully someone will do that later on. Maybe not hopefully, but we'll
Ooh.
figure it out. We'll see how that's gonna go. But anyway, hey Luby. Um glad that you could join us. And I did not walk away from our conversation. My ass fell asleep and in time enough to get up for this. So I'll be chatting with you about that later on. um But yeah, so we are in the wind and the wid and the Ned's day, Wednesday, as we always are. And it's been a day. Um, so yeah, it's been a day. Hopefully everybody else is having a great day. Um, and not today was bad, but it's just been a great day. Hey Desmond, I see you in here. Um, But yeah, it's been a day. How has your day been? Not necessarily your week, but how was your day, Dominion?
Eh. I mean, the day was absolutely fine, actually. I got a lot done at work. We're in the middle of training
Hmm.
for a new system that we're rolling out at the job. And of course, a good half of the shit that they're rolling out does not apply to me or my job at all. Yet I still have to be in this training 9 to 12 all week and next Monday and maybe next Tuesday, but definitely next Monday. So half of it doesn't apply to me because it's just not the kind of work that I do. And the other half is shit that I'm not going to do. I'm
Mm.
not going to, we already, managing construction projects. And so we already have places to put drawings and meeting minutes and stuff. And I am not going to also put it into this system and deal with all of that bullshit. So yeah, I'm not doing none of that. So fuck all of that.
Okay, all right. Well, that's yeah.
But I mean, it's fine. I don't want to make it sound like, it's just regular work stuff. We're all sitting there complaining in the background, like me and one of the women that I work with on another team is like, yeah, yeah, we're not doing any of that. And we're definitely not doing that. And then they were like, so maybe we could all just stay a little later on Monday. And she mentioned it. She was like, I think not.
Yeah, this is so I'm so glad that someone else feels my pain because this is how we are the entire time with this whole new system.
Mm-hmm.
My division my division and specifically my office all have stuff to put into this. For me, I'm an end user. I don't really care about how the motherfucking system's set up. I don't give a damn. I'm not paying
Mm-hmm.
attention. I don't give a. It doesn't work for me. It just that's where I'm at. I just want you to get to the end. So once we get to the end and I can see the stuff, the reports that I need to have ran, because if they don't give me what I need, I'm still have to ask somebody to give me the other reports, and then that's it. I don't really care. So I have to sit in these meetings all day. So I got to sit in it from the standpoint of the division, of
Mm-hmm.
my department, and then of one of the things that I work on, which is work study. So that's three different meetings on top that I have to sit in about the same product and how we use it all week. And then they want to have the meetings at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Baby. Doll baby. Honey. Girl. It's not working for me. So, but today in particular, I was a little bit. We have our regular division or the school wide meeting, and we all each of the divisions report out. And so the stuff that I'm responsible for that falls under operations or whatever, I have to report out on that, just about specific engagements because they're always concerned about customer service and all the engagement that happened with all the people coming to get their degrees. So I got word earlier today. Well, I got word yesterday as I was checking up on the progress of my staff and what they needed to do. And from the staff, I gathered that they didn't listen to a word I said, which happens because we're all multitasking. And in this virtual world, when we're having trainings, whatever, they're still at the front desk, they're still doing other things. And so I know it because I do it myself. We're multitasking, we're not paying attention, but it's been recorded, so you have it there and usually go back and look at it. Well, some of the most basic things that I told them not to do are the things they were doing for, all this time from the 2nd up until yesterday, which was the 16th. And I'm gonna come back to that. And so all this time is just wasted time that they were doing work that they shouldn't have, that they didn't have to do, and it's slowing them down as far as their progress. So now at this particular point, I'm like, listen, every single day I need a copy of what you've submitted and what you've completed every single day, so I know where you are and go from there. Well, of course, since my division has a huge impact, the president decides that they want information from us. So as soon as I got word, I was like, God damn it, I hate being on the radar, or like my office being on the radar of like the president or the provost. Like that just annoys me because I don't need to be on your radar. Don't stop doing it, because they start becoming too concerned with the minutia and down in the weeds, and it's like, I don't, just stop it. That happened at BCCC. Like, me and the president, she would just call me and ask me questions. I was like, no, like, don't do that. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it was, and I made it more than what it was. But it shook me for a second. But I was prepared, because I was like, listen, this is where we are. This is what our facts and figures are. This is what our engagements were. And if you're asking me why, you really want to ask me why? So I'm going to go in and start having these conversations about why. So I was ready to go down that road, but I had to be very careful with what I said and how I said it. And I had to keep my camera off, because I pulled on the carpet one time by one of my colleagues, and he was like, he said, hey, he said,
he told you to fix your face?
Basically, because he said to me, he said, that's the main reason why I keep my camera off. And I was like, what? He said, your facial expression said everything. I said, you know what? Listen, I can't. So if you see it happen going forward, please be in the background and just do this. And that's all the cue I need. So I'll turn my camera off. But it wasn't so bad. It was good. It was cool. But yeah, it was cool. It was pretty indicative of the week for me as well. I was able to get out yesterday and do some walking, and I was out on one of the trails. Maybe I paid for it later on, because when I got back in the house, I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh my God, I got the vid. What is going on? I can't breathe. My nose, my nostril. I was like, you asswipe. You were outside in the damn forest in the rain with the insects and everything else.
All this pollen and shit.
Right. So I was out there, but I was able to it was a cute little change of pace to kind of get out and do something. And, it makes me remember as a kid, even though I grew up in the city and everything else, but it just makes me remember like the beauty of nature, and like the moments that I lived near nature and had backyards, and so it was just fun. I was like, all right, this is cool. Now I'm like, well, but I get a bike. Well, but yeah, whatever. That's a whole story. But it was cool. Actually, Grace and I were walking yesterday, so she didn't. Grace usually is oh my God, where are we going? What's the weather? What type of shoes do I have to wear? What's my hair going to be like? Do I need to carry a bag? Do I need some lipstick? Do I need a water? Do I need this? Do I need that? I'm like, girl, we just walking. But anyway, that was good. So we were able to chit chat about some stuff for the weekend, and so it was good. But it was a good day yesterday. It's been a good week. That's all that I can really say. So I know you were talking about your day, but your week was good otherwise.
It was fine. Saturday, I got up at the crack of 6 a.m. to go down to Capital One Arena to support our baby Dylan in
congratulations
of his master's degree.
Congratulations.
So, I follow instructions when it comes to like being on time, and when they say the girls need to be sat by 7:45, I said, all right, I don't want to be in line at 7:30, with this long ass line getting in there. So I got up, caught
Right.
myself an Uber because I was not going to try to drive and deal with all of that foolishness. So I caught myself an Uber and hightailed it downtown to the Capital One Arena and got there. And I mean, I literally just walked right on in, went through the metal detector. That took, 2 minutes all of to get through. And so I was seated by 7:15. So I know they said it was going to take a minute for all of this stuff to come together. And so, I get seated. And so, of course, so I'm sitting on an end. And so, of course, everybody is like, oh, girl, because, they were selling food, but I did not want to eat because I did not want to get up and down. But everybody else did. So, as you can expect, lots of middle age, late middle age, elderly people who complained about their knees and listen, my knees was not good too, not good either. But walking down all them stairs and up them stairs, there's one poor lady. I was just like, oh, I don't think she's going to she was gonna make it. She was walking up the stairs. A couple of people tripped up the stairs. Luckily, nobody elderly, did. But then people also kept getting up to go to the bathroom and stuff. But then from where I was sitting to the right of the stage. So if you're on the stage, I was to the right in section 100.
Uh-huh.
Across the way from me was where all of the graduates were sitting. So then they come down and they get started marching in around about 8:30 or so.
Uh-huh.
Well, no, it was about 8:15. Why did it take 2 hours and 15 minutes to get everyone seated? Because at first, ladies and gentlemen, the graduate school. So, it was all of and that's the collective school of, all of the people getting their graduate degrees, or at least for some. Then it was the law school. Then it was the school of medicine. Then all of this school. Then that was like all of the people with graduate degrees. Then it was all of the undergrad. And then, of course, it took a good 45 minutes just for the College of Arts and Sciences to get seated, then everybody else. And then, of course, because the School of Fine Arts has been renamed for Chadwick Boseman, there was a whole,
That was a
and they didn't
25
take a
minute
long time because
applause.
it wasn't that it was a ton of people. It was just that, clapping. Then, so finally, I was like, finally, the end is in sight. And I was like, okay, so this spot is filled up. So there's no more seats on the ground. Then they started shunting people up to the section to my left. And so they got people there. Then they were like, okay, then um, the golden class. And I was like, well, who the fuck are these people? These are people for whom this was their 50th anniversary. And then, as we got into the ceremony, I understood what it was that they had not had a live graduation since 2019. So they're like pulling all of this stuff together. And maybe it was always going to be this big, but it was just a lot going on. Then it was the faculty. Then it was getting everybody on the stage. Then so finally we get everybody on stage, and they do the choral numbers and the introductions, and the president spoke, and yada yada yada. And then they're giving out honorary degrees, honorary doctorates. And so I'm looking at the program, right? And I was like, oh, okay, so they're just going to get up and say, Dr. Dominion Onyx is a leader in the blah, blah, blah community. Here's your degree. No, girl. They read the whole fucking bio for each of these people. And luckily, it was only 6 people.
Baby. And they sent those bios out to all of us ahead of time as well. So that was the funny thing.
Yes. And then, so of course, the highlight of this for some was that President Biden was getting an honorary doctorate, probably one of dozens that he has. And he gave the commencement address, which was a fine address. I mean, he was in good form. He said
Mhm.
all of the right things. He's a politician. He's a white man who needs the black vote. So he came to, what is, at least in some people's minds, the most prestigious historically black college. So I wasn't mad at him because some people will say he's pandering. I was like, baby, he's a politician. What the fuck do you think he's going to do? He's going to go speak at Hofstra University because that's a Jewish university. He's going to go speak at a woman's liberal arts college. I mean, what the fuck? That's what he's supposed to do. Right. So, I mean, the fuck. I mean, so I was not offended that he came. And it wasn't like he came and said anything crazy. It wasn't like this was Trump. I mean, he had a couple of Joeisms in there, but he didn't say anything crazy. And, he gave a good little speech and then, was like, come on. So then, they start doing the graduate degrees. And one that stood out for me was when they were doing the PhD. So they named the people that were getting their PhDs individually. And this woman, she was the last woman to walk across the stage, and she yelled something into the microphone that she was passing that I did not quite hear. But then the president came up and said, for those of you who didn't hear, she said that she was the 106th black woman in the world to receive a PhD in physics. So that was nice. And then then they called Dellon's group. Then after they called Dellon's group, I stayed because the next group was the Chadwick Boseman School of Fine Arts, and it was just an opportunity to see and hear Felicia Rashad. And then after that, I was like, peace, because there was no way in all of God's creation that I was going to stay there for whatever was going to happen with the College of Arts and Sciences. I didn't stay for law school, all of that. I ain't stay for none of that. So then I dipped on out, and then people started dipping out along with me because I feel like some people was like, okay. So, and that it was lovely.
All my babies is growing. Everybody got their paper. We out the door. Thank you so much. It was great. It was great. It was great.
And Lola said, this is why I didn't go to my graduation ceremony. And,
baby,
I will say that, even if you aren't big on ceremony, and I was, I was going to go for Dellon's sake, but I really was not jazzed up about going because I have complex feelings around historically black colleges, not the need for them, but the way that some of y'all act in administration and faculty. And I feel like the way, and when I say y'all, I am literally talking about the faculty and the staff. And, because I went to FAMU thinking it was going to be like a different world. And I mean, I was naive. I was naive about a lot of stuff because my entire experience as, I guess you could call me a gifted student or whatever, had been always that the adults in my life were there to support me. And, FAMU, there was like, these were just a bunch of Negroes that had jobs, and they could have given a shit if you graduated. It wasn't like I ain't need like my professor to knock on the door and be like, hey, Dominion, time for class. I didn't need that. But I expected a lot more of a supportive environment, similar to what we saw on A Different World, than I did. And I went through some fairly traumatic experiences that made me reluctant to, I mean, I wasn't like assaulted or anything, but it was just traumatic. And, so going back into that kind of environment, was a little triggering, not like so much so that I felt like I had to run and leave, but I was just like reluctant to go initially. So I sat there with like a puss on my face. I was like, And then plus, both of my parents are dead. So, it did not make me, and the next day is Mother's Day. So then, to see all of these people with their mothers and their fathers there, that's my baby, and it just reminded me of all of the things that I no longer had in my life. So for like the
Uh,
first hour of sitting there, I'm just sitting there like, but then I was like, all right, girl, get into it. Get into it. Just be happy for people. Just be happy for people. Then I was like, okay, all right, okay. And then so like I felt better about the moment. And then it started. And then also, I also have very complex feelings about other bitches that think that university is better than FAMU, because as fucked up as FAMU was, I still have my thing about it. And so I was like, I mean, this is cute and everything, but okay, y'all got Felicia Rashad and everything. I mean, that's cute or whatever. And you got the president to come speak at your little commencement and everything. I mean, that's cute or whatever, so. But once I sort of got past all of that and sort of let myself feel the positive vibes, the relentlessly positive vibes and energy of everybody there, I've started to feel much better about everything.
And you know what? I think people sometimes don't take that into consideration, because while these things may not necessarily be, like you said, traumatic, they can be triggering. But then also your adjustment time, if there is any, could be anywhere from 1 minute to 1 month to, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like you actually talking yourself down and being in that space where you're able to get yourself back into this moment and to be positive about it, that's a lot of growth. That's a lot of work on your part. That's a lot of
You
growth.
know what that
So
was? Growth.
it was, and you know it just as well as I do, because there was a time when you like I literally I like I think I've led on. I mean, I've told people on this show about where my mom is and all this good stuff, and the idea that she's in a facility, and while I still have her here physically, mentally I don't, because a lot of like the woman that I knew as my mother is not here anymore. So when you just
Mm-hmm.
talked about Mother's Day and your parents being not here, it just made me realize that, damn, I just went through another Mother's Day with this person that's not my mother, who the person I remember years ago was, that's one thing. The person that's here now is something completely different. So for me, it feels like she's already passed, but she hasn't. But then I also know physically when
Yes.
she does pass, that's another thing. So I'm thinking about that as well. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot. But I will definitely say, like Lola said about the graduation ceremonies and things of that sort, maybe they are long. And University of Pittsburgh, when I graduated from there, baby, it was a lot of people. And the only reason I went to that, because I felt like I owed my parents
Mm-hmm.
that to show up, because listen, y'all paid all this money that I wasn't able to get listen, y'all paid all this money. And I was going to make sure that I went. And I was annoyed because it's always a long day, and it's crowds, and it's people, and it's all this stuff. And then trying to find people in a place like the Capitol Arena and everything else, like it's just happenstance that you do find people. And so literally I'm sitting on the floor, like, and just having to look up and having to see where my parents were. And I was just like, oh, and when I got my piece of degree, I literally
Mm-hmm.
called my mom down. I was that one ignorant child that called my mom down from the stadium. She's walking down in her little heels. She's trying not to, she's stepping to the side. She's trying to step lightly. And I'm trying to walk up to her out the middle of the floor, because that's just what I wanted to do. That was me and my
Mm-hmm.
mom. That's what I wanted to do. And so, but it made me remember that. But then when I went and got my master's, baby, listen, I had spent all that time and all that money coming out of my check. I was like, baby, I called the registrar's office. I was like, hey, Pat, is my degree there? She said, yeah. I said, I'll be there before 4:30 to pick it up, girl. I just put it in a paper bag.
Right. That was all that mattered.
I,
Now, in
but I
the
do,
age,
I do
yeah,
regret not going to the ceremony because I didn't get my hood and stuff.
yeah,
But that's like, would I have stayed? No, I'd have did exactly what you did. As soon as they called my school, I'd have been like, well, gotta go. Thank you. Bye. I'm good.
right. I
Mm-mm.
will. So, in the age of technology, and as one might expect, Dylan sort of stood out. First of all, they're much taller
You're
than
not be tall, Dylan.
already 6'2". Then they've got on 4-inch heels, and then their mortarboard was decorated and
Gotcha.
everything, and that red lipstick was popping. That
Wait a minute,
Fenty.
wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. It was red, it wasn't blue. What's
No,
going
it was
on?
red, honey. You
It
saw
was
the
like,
picture I posted on Facebook. It
but
was
I mean,
blue.
I don't
mean,
know
it was
why
red.
it was red, but I mean, but listen, that's what I'm trying to comment on. Baby, you know damn well that is blue. It needs to be a shade of blue. A blue, honey. But okay, I get it. It's a celebration. Okay, all right. All right.
And so I saw them because I mean everyone's arranged by school, so it was easy to find them. And then they're taller than everyone else. So I texted them and like, look to your stand up, look to your left, and when you do that, I'll wave. And then they did, and I stood up and took several pictures, and those were the pictures that I posted. Because by the time they got seated, we hadn't gotten to the College of Arts and Sciences yet, so it was still a long time to go.
Baby,
So.
yeah, I get it. But hey Mika, I haven't seen you in a minute. Hey Lola, Dylan, hey Midas, hey baby boy. I'm just make sure I speak to a couple people that can't I saw come in.
And Louboutin, Louboutin and Desmond and Eccentric are here, of course.
Yes. I did say hello. I didn't say hello.
That's Tyra.
But hey, just acknowledging everybody. We thank you.
Dylan said the red went the sparkly and spiked shoes. So the look was looking.
So listen, I didn't catch the shoe. I caught everything else. I didn't catch the shoe.
Because the way from where they were seated, I mean, there were people all around them, so I couldn't get like the full.
Okay. Well, Dylan, I'm gonna need you to provide a copy of this shoe. Like I already know you said it was spiked and it was sparkly, and it was red. I have an image in my mind already, but I'm gonna need to check out this shoe. Mm-hmm.
Right, and then as Biden was speaking, there were a couple of people who I didn't realize it at first, and then I was like, "Does she have a sign?" And then, and then I was like, "Oh, so there were some people that were talking about Biden and imperialism," and I was like, if you are a president of these United States, you are involved in imperialism around the world. I'm not saying that's good or bad, but let's not pretend like any other president wasn't. I mean, Barack Obama was deeply involved in imperialism too. So, I don't.
Well, I think that when people understand, well, not when people understand, because I'm not giving people enough credit, but I think you have to understand that in that position, being the president of the quote unquote most powerful nation in the world, you need allies, but you also need to understand how to address other people. So yes, you need to participate to a certain extent to understand how you can get what you need out of the system.
Right.
Makes sense.
So, and then that evening, we went to another brother's house to celebrate him getting his PhD from Widener University, where we do a regular program. And so that was lovely to be surrounded. And shout out, because they may not be watching it now, but I know that at least 3 or 4 people subscribed to the show while we were talking.
Welcome.
And now I think it's time for breaking news. Breaking news. One more time. Breaking news. I'm wondering, can I have it scroll at the same time?
You probably would have to do
it. Looks like it only can have one scroll.
I would say just the other one, and that one only it didn't scroll through. But
yeah, if I want to do that, I have to do that, and then show. There we go. Yeah. Breaking news. So first, I need to show a video on TikTok.
Let's get it started.
Let's break down all the looks from Beyonce's Renaissance store. It opens the show with this custom Alexander McQueen look from their Fall 2023 collection. We have this beautiful catsuit which has hands all over it. It is a custom Loewe look from their Fall 2022 collection. After that, we have this look here, a sparkly bodysuit that focuses on a circle in the middle. It's a custom bodysuit by Courage in their Fall 2023 collection. We also have this multicolored dress with a jacket, which is also, of course, a custom look, and it is by David Coma from his Spring 2023 collection. Next up is this look. this bodysuit that is heavily embellished with pearls. And it is from Balmain's Fall 2023 collection. Of course, she's going to give you Balmain. There's also this look. And this is a custom Loewe. First of all, it's incredible how great she looks. But then we have this look. This is custom Mugler. She also includes this headpiece, which is a reference to Thierry Mugler's 1997 Haute Couture collection, also known as the Insects collection. And just so you know, I do not have clear pictures, but when she's closing the show, she's wearing a custom Caperni. Okay, now your turn. In the comment section, let me know what you think about her looks. Which one is your favorite? I'm 100% in love with the custom Mugler. Let's break down all the looks from Beyonce's Renaissance store. She opens the show with this.
So look, listen, before we say anything else, the one thing I definitely want to acknowledge is, if I have to acknowledge a fashion show that has been one of my favorite fashion shows of all time, it has definitely been Thierry Mugler and the Insect fashion show. Because baby, when I tell you that it gave me everything. So the homage to that, baby, I am here for it. That part I'm here for. Now the looks were great. I'm not even, but I was here for all that. But I just want to acknowledge that because Thierry Mugler, look it up if you haven't had the chance to, but that's 1990 or 1991 Thierry Mugler. But anyway, sorry.
Now that is not the breaking news. The fashions was not the breaking news. Now, there I was, just minding my own fucking business on TikTok, right? I guess that must have been Wednesday night, Thursday night.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And so I'm scrolling, and then, because, you know, Beyonce opened her concert in Stockholm. And so I'm seeing all of these, you know, clips from the concert and stuff. And I had already decided, because, you know, like when the tickets was like, I was like, yeah, girl, there's no way in creation that I'm spending $3,500 on it. Even if I like got a tax refund and had a spare $3,500, that is not what I would spend it on. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going. Not going. And then I saw all of the clips from the show, and I was like, yeah, girl, that's fabulous. But there's no way in creation. No way. What the gospel song say? There is no way.
I was keeping it short and simple and singing a Riri version. Ain't no way.
Exactly.
Ain't no way.
Ooh. Listen, but how can I afford $3,500 and I still have a mortgage to pay?
And then take it up to the next level. Ooh.
Exactly. So all of that was like Wednesday. That was Wednesday night. It was like right after the show. So I'm in bed on TikTok. Thursday, I forgot to mention, Thursday, we went and did a community service project to build a playground at a school in Baltimore. So I'm with one of my coworkers, and I was like, "Did you see Beyonce? Because she's becoming like the work Judy."
Okay.
So I was like, "Did you see Beyonce?" She was like, "Yes, it is so fab." I was like, "Yeah, but there's no way that I'm spending $3,500." She was like, "They have tickets for as little as $250 at FedEx Field when she's here on August the 8th. I was like, bookmark. As soon as I got home. Oh, $250 is standing room only in the rafters, so that's a no. But because I did have a tax refund, so I did have a little bit of change. So I was like, all right, girl, this will be the most money you have ever spent on a ticket ever. Because, baby, I'm from the generation where in 1987, I saw Rare Essence, Trouble Funk, and those were just like the local acts.
Right.
Heavy D and the Boys, Dougie Fresh, who else? And like Salt and Pepper, and like 2 or 3 other acts. And all of those motherfuckers was only $50.
Baby, I took my
which
little
was
cousin.
Still a lot of money in 1987.
I took my little cousin to that same concert to see Salt and Pepper, and she was in love with Spinderella. She's like, "Oh my God, I want to be Spinderella! I want to be Spinderella!" I was
Exactly. So going from spending $50 in 1987, and then I also remember I saw Luther Vandross, Sounds of Blackness, and Lisa Fisher. I took a date. This girl, she turned out to be crazy. That's a story for another day. I think I paid like $75 for those 2 tickets, and that was in like 1992 or 1993. So I was like, all right, girl, there's no way. So it looks the minimum was going to be $250. I was like, but there's no way. So what's the maximum that I'm willing to pay for this? It's like, all right, girl, $1,000 is the maximum that I'm spending for 2 tickets, because it was automatically decided that you was gonna go. I was like, that bitch is gonna cancel whatever the fuck he got on his schedule to go. If he was like, oh, I'm going out of town, well, bitch, I guess you're canceling that trip then, aren't you? So I didn't even consult with you first, but I was like, yeah, this bitch is going.
To be clear, he did not. So, and listen, if nobody else on this call, between Mika and Desmond, listen, bitch, you already know. I ain't about that life about booking my schedule up, but I ain't about that.
Right.
But
and so I was like, all right,
certain folks,
so $1,000 is our limit. So I was like, all right, so that means the most I can spend on the ticket plus fees and everything is $1,000 or $500 per ticket. It was like, all right, because baby, I was just like, I gotta be there. I was like, it was she was calling to me, bitch. She was fucking when we was at Mike's house. It was like, I'm one of one. I'm number one, and I'm like, bitch, I'm the only one. Unique. That's what I am. Stilettos kicking vintage crystals off the bar. Category. Bad bitch. I'm the bar. So I was like, oh, we're going. It's just seriously for a second. One thing my father used to say, I mean, he used to say you can't take it with you, but he also was like, what the fuck do you work for? Why do you work hard? Now, there's a difference between spending your mortgage money and not being able to pay your bills. If I hadn't gotten that tax refund, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation, but I did. And so I was like, all right, I can spare this $1,000 because this is sort of extra little bit of change. And I was like, listen, girl, I mean, on my deathbed, I'm not going to be like, I'm so glad I saved my money. You know what I mean? I'm not going to, what? I'm so glad I didn't have that extra latte. You're not going to say that. So I was like, yes, I am going to treat myself. I'm going to treat us for your birthday and for us together collectively. So then I had to deal with that janky ass Ticketmaster app and platform. Baby, it took me 3 days just to even get the shit to work stably so that I could get the tickets. And I found tickets and ended up only paying like $800 for the 2 tickets.
But listen, let me be 100% clear. And I know that when we were at our brother's house and we were having a ceremony, at his little party for the graduation, and we were sitting there, I really was sitting back and I was like, okay, so he had kind of broke the news to me, and I was sitting there like, bitch, what? So I was sitting there like soaking it in. So I did not say thank you. And I'm going to say thank you because it was just not, it just wasn't in the card for me. And it really wasn't. And I was just like, all right, well, and then I felt bad because I was like, just like you said, with all those reasons about what I paid for tickets and everything else. And I'm a janitor. Listen, that's just where the fuck I'm at. But when I started seeing prices, I was like, no, baby, this is, I just can't. So I got mad because I was sitting there saying, I kept hearing you, but then I also kept hearing my mother saying the same exact shit. Well, what the fuck you work for? What the fuck is you working on? And I was just like, but Ma,
right.
What the fuck you? So I'm like, okay, but that part is separate. Thank you, because I am excited because I've never been to her actual concert.
Neither have I.
So I'm excited that I'm able to go to this. And I'm also going to say that while I have not been to Janet's concert, I've been peeping all the reviews and stuff online.
Mm-hmm.
It's cute. It's my girl. I'm a
Right.
But I was looking at the visuals for Beyonce's concert, and I was like, bitch, these visuals. I was like, no, wait a minute, girl, what? And then the grandbaby might have sent me a picture of this little breakdown from the concert where the children they're doing
Yes.
Summer Renaissance, I think it is. They're doing the Summer Renaissance. I can't remember what it was, but they were having like a little Vogue session, and I was kind of like, what the fuck? And then I was like, and listen, when I saw Miss Honey Balenciaga, I said, all right, bitch. Okay, now wait a minute. I was like, okay,
She
girl,
still turns me off after her attitude on the show.
Baby.
I know she's very talented.
But listen, here's the thing. You got to see her in her element. Like, if you didn't know her and you just saw her, you saw the shit she does, you'd be like, bitch, I'm amazed. She's still good.
Right.
It's a little I'm not gonna say a little lackluster because let me not say that. She's toned down a little bit because she's a dancer now. And I guess she has to still fit in this mold, do certain things, but they know why she's there. But it was like, and this little Vogue session they had going on, I was like, yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested to see what, but anyway. Right. So those things coupled with the fact that you turned around and then said, bitch, we going. I was like, bitch, what? I think I was a little stunned. And I think I was looking.
I know you were too. And I didn't think you was going to be like, yeah, I'm not going. I wasn't worried about that.
No.
I knew that you would.
No, bitch. Like you said, bitch, like, and I'm not a fan of booking up my schedule, but I'd be like, okay, well, listen, let me just clear this off here.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and go to this concert because I'm not.
But we had both said, you had said that if you could have, we had said you were going to get us tickets to Janet.
Yes,
and then I said, and I would get us tickets to Beyonce. Then we both was like, yeah, girl, we're not paying this much money for the tickets. But then when I saw the tickets were reasonable is in quotation marks. It's doable if you got, disposable income. And I felt like all of my other bills was paid and my rainy day fund was, populated and stuff. So it was cute. Yeah. Otherwise, I would have just strung together all them TikTok videos and watched.
We're gonna have a Beyonce concert watch. Like,
listen, I'd have streamed that shit on my TV and been like, "Bitch, I'm there."
Be like, unique. Like,
exactly.
Bitch, come on, there we go. But yeah,
so I was like, okay, so it was something to do, and I know that you were sitting there like, did this motherfucker just?
Yeah, I was. But I was inside my head. I was like, I'm sitting at the table eating that motherfucking cake. What's her name? Melanie made from Harris.
No, bitch. No. So that was another funny thing. So our brother Sater is very bougie and got the nerve to call other people at the table bougie, but was calling us bougie. We're all bougie together. Let's be clear. But if we're bougie, he's bougie plus.
Or bougie personified. Is that what we want to say? Because like it's there. Well, actually, no. Let me take that back. You know who I consider bougie personified? Little T. I love Little T to death, but baby, that thing is bougie personified. Now it might be in a different time frame, but that thing is.
He is giving. I mean, what he is. He's giving you 70s black gay bougie.
Listen, him and Dorian Corey, baby. Listen, when I tell you, but again, love him to death. Absolutely love him to death, and he is the Kiki of all Kikis.
Yes. But so Mike said, Sater says, I got this cake. It was custom from this bake or this cake because the cake was cute. It was chocolate icing.
We was all plotting on it. In our minds, but we was plotting because the bitch would look good. It was chocolate.
It looked good as shit. And so his friend Corey was like, can we cut into what kind of cake is this? And he was like, oh, it's a yellow cake with chocolate icing. And everybody's like, And,
the top is coming off.
The top is coming off. And he starts to cut into it. And then he says, it's from Harris Teeter. And Corey's knife stopped mid-cut.
Just like,
And everybody was thinking the same thing. We was like, bitch, this is a store-bought cake?
Store-bought cake? Like, bitch, what do you mean store-bought? And so he's like, well, wait a minute.
And
Store-bought.
then so like here's the cake, right? Like the knife is right here. Then after he said store-bought, because like the first stir was like, yes, store-bought. Oh.
Listen. And then he said something about, yeah, my girlfriend Melanie made it or whatever. And then we were like,
so
Melanie.
And then he was like, oh, that's the name of the woman at the store. I was like, son of a bitch.
God, this is
the cake, because and then we bit into it, and then I was like, I mean, this is okay, but I hope he didn't pay.
Wait, no, go back. I was like, hey, Dominion, you want to split a piece of cake? He was like, yes. Yes. Let's split a piece of cake.
And then, even then, when I bit into it, I was like, oh.
Wait, and Dominion looked at me, and bitch, I looked at him, and I was just like,
so I did ask the question. I was like, so did the person that make this cake, are they here? Because I told y'all a story how I got called out for talking shit about the pianist at church, and that was her parents sitting in front of us in church. So what did I learn from that? Always check to see if the people or the people's parents or family is there before you start talking shit. He was like, no, I did. I got this from the store. I was like, thank God, because this cake is not that good.
Like, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's sugar. Because I said to, I guess that was Corey's boyfriend that was sitting next to him.
Because you can tell me that they were.
I mean, but they were touching hands and stuff. So it was something going on there, but I don't get in the grown folk business.
Right.
But I was like, listen,
friend.
It's chocolate and sugar and flour and eggs and butter. So how bad can it be? So, I mean, it was not terrible, but if this was supposed to be like a custom creation, I was like, ooh.
This wasn't no damn custom creation. This was a custom creation that would have been like the top of the line purple label for like a 6 to 10-year-old that made it.
Right. Hey, best friend. So yeah, because we have all had that cake where it was like, yeah, my best friend, or I know this woman who's a baker, and that you bite into it and you're like, or and some it's not even baked goods where someone be like, oh, like you go over somebody's house and you're like, yeah, my auntie make the bomb ass macaroni and cheese, and you like.
Listen, don't start me to talk about, because I'm going to talk about somebody and said pot of vegetables.
No sir, best friend. It is not Brown Betty.
Yeah,
that pot of what?
That said pot of vegetables that I was digging into, because I was like,
oh.
And then I turned around and they were right there, and I was like,
oh, you talking about that Indian stew?
Mm-mm. Nope, I'm talking about not at this.
This was another function. I didn't get a chance to get into the stew because it was they said it was spicy. And
smelled wonderful.
It smelled wonderful. But the way my stomach is set up right now, I did not need anything spicy on an 1.5-hour drive back to civilization.
Yeah, and that was a whole other thing. We needed our passport to get there. So that was but I mean, that's okay. That's fine.
Right. And so, yes, so we are going to see Beyonce. And I am so excited. And so now I want you to entertain the people, because I got to show you, I've already bought part of the ensemble. So,
listen. And we started talking about that. You were like, I got to get my look together. And I was like, well, baby, wait a minute. What you showed me, I was like, well, wait a minute. Like, this is good, but like,
Yeah, I'm not actually doing that though.
I was like,
give me a second. I got to go get the shoe. I got the shoe.
Okay. All right. Well, you go ahead on.
You vamp for 30 seconds.
Let me talk to people. So yeah, but so I got to now figure out what the hell I'm getting ready to wear. And I know so for me in concert wear, I really don't give a damn. I don't give a fuck about what I got going on, because I'm usually either going to go and then either come right back home afterwards, or if I have time enough, maybe stop at some place to get a after concert cocktail, whatever. So in DC, I might go, we might stop at the fireplace, go get a cocktail, and I call it night and go home. Because all the girls is gonna be out, they're gonna go over to the fireplace or wherever afterwards, go get a cocktail and just talk about the show, because they feel like they are royalty now because they've gone to the concert. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. So
yes, we're going to see it in DC. Now, Epic, you've already seen this shoe. It was the shoe I had on at the show. At the event. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you, so one day I was on the Instagrams, and you know how the ads pop up, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, I don't get into name brand shoes like that. I'll as soon as wear a Skechers, as Nikes, as in DC growing up, we used to call them Maypops, which was like no name brand shoes. So, but baby, this fucking shoe turned me the fuck out. So much so that I had to buy her. These are Adidas. So I am building my whole look around not so much this part, but it's this thick ass white sole. So whatever I'm wearing is going to be white, and I am going to turn you a look that
But
is.
it was a cute blouse you had on. Like I said, I thought that was cute. I liked her.
Thank you. And I do have a cute white lace shirt that has like a lace top that I might feature. The thing is that it's lace and see through, so you can see my bra strap. So I don't know about that yet.
Well, girl, I mean, listen, like our parents do. Take your garment wear and you soak it in some tea bags and make it your color. If it's a white purchase that you got, you just take soak some tea bag. But if it's black,
actually, what works for me because of my skin tone is if I just wear a black T-shirt underneath, and then you usually can't see through the white.
Okay, all right. Well,
yes, this Adidas shoe. And they actually make it in a tan too, but I like this is actually a blue, but I love this shoe and this heel. And yeah, she's
all I know is August is going to be hot, and I got to figure out it's going to be something very breathable. That's what I do know.
Yes.
So, I'm kind of glad that it's happening a little bit later because that way I got to still.
And it's inside too.
Yeah, I still got this damn thing on. If y'all didn't, I still got this thing. Y'all can't see it, but I still got this damn.
We can see it.
But anyways, I'm surprised it still stayed on because I've been cutting the tape off. It's just been peeling and rolling back. I was like, it's just bullshit. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. But I've been trying to be good with that. So we're gonna see about that. But yes, I'm looking forward to the show in August. So it's gonna be a great time.
So before we get, we don't have a ton of things to talk about. But
wait a minute, hold up. So Desmond's trying to be funny. Okay, so listen, picture it. He talked about this twice furry Gap sweatshirt. Okay, and I think you've seen me wear this. I have this orange Gap sweatshirt that I've had for years. It's the plain orange, this like a fleece that has the Gap on it. I think at one point, every ball we went to at some point in between 1998 and 2000, I even had on this sweatshirt and these gray matching flannel like joggers or whatever, because I already knew where the ball. Like, bitch, if we have to walk a category, bitch, I need to roll on the floor. I need to be flexible. I need, you know what I mean? I need to do, baby. It never dawned on me that it seemed like every single ball I wore the same shit. So there's video of me in like every ball, like a different day at a different time. And I'm still like the same shit on. I was like, oh my God. I was like, bitch.
Listen, girl, you like what's the comedian's name? In that white Alexander McQueen dress?
Oh, like Tiffany Haddish, baby. Listen,
yes.
I was Tiffany Haddish, and before she was Tiffany Haddish. That's what because baby, I was showing up in that same motherfucking sweat. Because again, bitch, I'm not gonna get all on this motherfucking dirty ass floor and roll around in some shit that I feel like we're not doing that. Like I saw the girls come through with their designer labels on, and they want to pump through, and they get called out for legend stars and statements, and they want to hit the floor and. Baby, somebody to spill beer and wine and piss and whatever. I ain't doing all that, baby. This is wash and go. That's what this fuck is. This is shake and go. Fuck this shit. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were saying.
Question. What do you think if I, because orange is my signature color, if I dyed just the stripes orange?
I don't necessarily know if you really even need to touch the stripes in this.
Yeah, because you're not going. I mean, you're not going to see any of this. You're really just going to see all the heel.
Yeah, I don't think you really need to touch anything. I mean, if you want to wear, and then the other part of that is if you're wearing a solid color, like if it's like you said, if it's going to be all white, then all of your accents can still be orange and they can still be blue as well. So I mean, just you can do it a couple different ways. I mean, you have jewelry so that you can kind of pop it together. So I mean. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. I don't think you need to do anything to the shoe.
Yeah, I feel like this might call for a hat moment too.
Now, let me be clear, because Converse always does their special edition Pride Month.
Oh, bitch! If I could get this in like a sparkly rainbow joint.
Right. So if you could find it in like an orange or something like that, then that could work. But again, remember, much like with my rainbow sequin Converse, because I can only wear them like once, twice a year. Like that's all. All I got.
I agree. Thanks, Desmond. I'll take that. Yeah, we won't do that.
Yeah.
So before we dive into our couple of articles, I want to talk about this. Did y'all see RuPaul's uh
His man.
feature in Architectural Digest?
Uh-huh.
So, baby, I just need to get into the glamour of these pictures. So we'll look at them individually.
Baby, there's several pictures. Like the places.
I'll let you decide which is your favorite of these looks.
The place is stunning, but you'll get to mine in a second. The one that I thought was amazing.
This turned me all the way out. This turned me so far out, I didn't know what the fuck to do.
Now the thing is, it's from looking at the outside of the room in that is amazing. That's the runner up for me. But but you'll come to the one for me. But that's
fine.
A piece.
That's cute. This is cute. Yes, looking into this room.
Yes,
it's a gag and a half.
Yes, it is.
That's a little bit more of what that room looks like. I love those orange chairs. This is cute.
So stop. This right here for me was every fucking thing. There's such a juxtaposition of every single thing. Is first of all, it's the dark and the light. It's the fact that these colors are soft and feminine, but this desk is masculine color. But then it's also a Victorian color. The get into the print on the chair, get into the lamp. This room for me was like a stunning piece for me because it was so much contrast for me. This was my favorite room for me.
This is one of my favorite three, but I'm gonna tell. I mean, and this is cute. This powder room actually turns me all the way the fuck out.
I like the idea of it. I do like the idea of it because I was looking at some of the pictures and I was like, these are all African descent or people like women that is just,
right.
Listen, I was here for this. I like that.
So this is actually as a moment, to me, this is my favorite moment in the house. The sheer gaggery of it, obviously it's the disco balls. This bedroom is, I mean, it's cute. I mean, I love the wallpaper and I love the monochromatic palette with the splash of orange, obviously. But even if it was green or some other color I didn't care for, I do just like that, you're using color as, like a playful accent.
Yep. Now, baby, I got life in this closet. Next one.
Yes. All of this is the closet.
That one right there, I got life off because it's the patterning of the floor. It's the colors. Like I got life off of it. So that was definitely another one that caught my attention. And that had nothing to do with the room, more so than what he was adding into it. But it was still, I liked it. The pattern of the floor and everything. I loved it.
And if you actually watch the article or watch the video, this outfit that he's wearing is all covered in money symbols. So there's like the pound, the yen, the dollar, the rupee. So it was just like, bitch, I am rich.
I'm here for it. I had to sit back and say, you know what? This bitch has earned everything he's got. Even the Emmys on the wall in the office. Yes. Like he has worked his ass off. This man has been working constantly since 1990, 89 or 90. That bitch has been working constantly. Yes.
And so I fucking love that. It just, I mean, I know that obviously you clean it up before the kids get there. I was just like, "Ooh, girl, that's a lot to clean." And I mean, obviously she don't clean none of that herself. So,
baby, listen, you think I listen, I will come through like Mommy Dearest.
Right. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the dirt.
Christina!
Christina! Christopher! Damn it!
Yeah, it's a lot. Or my favorite line, she was like, bitch, and I'm gonna tell you who does this, and it wears me out. Fucking Deviant. He'd be like, Barbara, please.
Please, Barbara.
Barbara,
Yes,
please.
baby,
Barbara.
when she is beating her ass, and then Barbara, please, please, Barbara. And then she grabs her titties and smishes them together. It seems like, and a reporter.
Listen, drama, just drama, all the way around.
And then when I'm like in a mood, I'm like, Tina, bring me the axe.
Yeah, definitely. And do you remember when they used to play at the Circle Bar, that little mega mix?
Remember, I was in Florida a lot of that time, so I never made it to the Circle Bar ever.
Oh, bitch. When I tell you a cute bar that you really would have enjoyed, the Circle Bar, you would really enjoyed it. But I also think that they've played it in the Fireplace as well. And I think they've also played it in Green Lantern. But it's like this whole mega mix of like of her with all these scenes where she's like, don't fuck with me, fellas. And it's a whole video montage, put the music. Baby, every day in the fucking because I'm sure it's on YouTube at this point, but every bitch, the crowd would be up there like drinking everything, like, oh yeah. But bitch would come on there and be like, don't fuck with, like, it was just amazing, that whole video montage from that movie. It was amazing.
Yes. So then let's dive into these stories. So go ahead.
Sure. So listen, first things first. Well, I'm sorry, let me go back. Yesterday was Janet Demita Jo Jackson's 57th birthday. We're gonna go ahead and give her her flowers. Thank you so much. I put that in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and acknowledge that, May 16th. I'm just, put that out there. So that was my first piece. The next piece I'm going to go to, the next story, congratulations to Miss Sasha Obama. She graduated from USC, and her family was there. We already know graduation season is upon us. Delling just graduated. Sater just graduated. But the Obamas are among the many families celebrating academic accomplishments this year. Barack and Michelle Obama's younger daughter, Sasha, recently graduated from the University of Southern California. And in honor of the 21-year-old's milestone, the Obama family showed out while attending her graduation. And basically, they showed up, really. But anyway, following her 2019 graduation from Sidwell Friends in D.C., she enrolled at the University of Michigan. However, people reported that Sasha eventually transferred to USC, where she studied psychology while living with her older sister, Malia. She completed her coursework at the prestigious institution and is now reaping the fruits of her labor as she prepares for the next journey, or for her next journey. Now, Barack, Michelle, and Malia were obviously present, and they were all looking fly. They described all their outfits and everything else. Miss Michelle came through rocking some braids. But listen, I just love this family because they represent a population, or a portion of the population of the Black folks in this country. And I appreciate it because I think they're bringing a good representation. So I appreciate it.
Best friend just said the Wiz opens in Baltimore in September, then in DC at the Nationals Theater. Would you both like to go? Yes. And let us know how much the tickets are going to be.
Wait, is this the one that the with the G on it, with the red pump, with the red New Balance, the G for Go-Go and the Wiz? But either way, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah. So, best friend, if you get the tickets, just let us know how much they are.
Please let us know what they are. And baby, listen, stay on top of me, because if I forget, baby, I'll forget.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think he's going to get the tickets, and then we'll just cash app him back.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm in.
Okay. All right. So, and remember when she was at University of Michigan, that was when the white girl who was one of her friends, was like, I saw Malia Obama smoking marijuana, and everybody was like, oh, bitch, are you snitching like that? It was like, well, there's no way you weren't in there snitching, and come to find out, like, her parents were like Republican donors, so they was trying to set her up, or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, so newsflash, a 19-year-old girl smoked marijuana in college. Okay. But her president, what her father got to do with that? That ain't got shit to do with her.
And then here's the other thing. How many of these motherfucking U.S. senators, including some former and possibly even some sitting presidents, have not participated in their college years or when they were young and wild or whatever?
Right. I mean, it's not like they said she smoked or snorted cocaine or had a train run on her.
Listen, she snorted cocaine. If she snorted cocaine off the back of a motherfucking honeydew melon that was in the backseat of a fucking Ford Pinto that was going down a hill, and people in the front seat having sex, then yes, that's a problem.
Yes,
that's a problem. But I mean,
right.
Anyway.
Other than that, is none of my business. Anyway, So what's up next?
So listen, Stars drama P-Valley to postpone production. Katori Hall says we will not film until a fair deal is reached. Now, this is an additional Stars series that's going to be added to the list of shows suspended as a result of the writer's strike that's going on. P-Valley has postponed its production in Atlanta. Now, Deadline, which is the magazine or the online site we got this from, understands that the series had recently finished its writer's room for season 3, but production had not started. Creator and showrunner Katori Hall said, "We will not be filming until a fair deal is reached. We hear that filming had not started, but Hall's comments refers to the writer's room. He said, they said, like many of my fellow showrunners, I feel as though my writing and producing duties are inextricably linked. I'm also a member of the DGA, whose AMPTP contract begins negotiations today. Overlapping issues abound, and we shall see how these stories end. As a writer, I strike with a sense of radical dignity that our work must be valued for the magic that it is." And like I said, P-Valley joins the list of several shows, The Venery of Samantha Bird and an untitled Joshua Jackson series from Ava DuVernay. All these are on the suspended list. So hopefully with this writer's strike and we get these fair wages and we get the negotiations going, we can get everyone back to a place where they're creating magic, because P-Valley is and was magic for a lot of people, especially during the pandemic.
Yes.
So I definitely want to see that happen. And I love the cast. And I love to see what's going on. And plus, it ended on a cliffhanger. So, baby, I'm nosy. I want to see what the fuck happened next.
Right. So let's skip the next story and say that one for last.
Yes. This story, did you all hear the news that Jonathan Majors and Megan Good got something going on? Listen, their friendship apparently has turned romantic, as reported amid his assault charges and allegations from People magazine. Now, they had a source tell them that Megan and Jonathan have maintained a friendship for some time. And they also added that Megan has shown considerable support towards him. And they said that it seems their relationship has developed further from that point. Now, at the time, reps for Megan and for Majors didn't respond immediately to People's request. However, People confirmed on Saturday that Majors, who's 33, and Good, who's 41, are dating. Now, the new relationship comes after Majors charged with multiple misdemeanor counts of assault and harassment by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office following an arrest in New York City on March 25th. Now, of course, Majors' lawyer, Priya Chowdhury, said in a previous statement that the actor completely denies assaulting the women. But on the other side, Good filed for divorce from Devon Franklin, her husband of 9 years, back in December of 2021. The Shazam Fury of the Gods actress told People in May of 2022 that she has, quote unquote, learned to not be as much of a people pleaser. She says, "I've learned that not everybody's going to get you or like you, and that's okay. And knowing who your tribe is and being really thankful for that, and knowing sometimes they're not your tribe, that's okay too." She also added that she was focused on loving and treating people with respect regardless, and never letting how people treat you change the integrity of who you want to be. She said, "I think in this season especially, I'm learning to live again in a different way." So shout out to Megan and to Jonathan on their budding relationship.
Their stunt cream relationship. Okay, very good.
Yeah, weird. But again, I feel some type of way about this. But
this feels very convenient because this was his girlfriend up until the 25th. And while people do break up or whatever, I mean, this feels awfully fast to be like dating somebody. I mean, people don't just talk no more. And then all of a sudden they're like dating.
But then the thing about it is, for me, is that, he was getting a lot of flack, which it seems like most actors get for, doing the stereotypical dating outside of their race sort of situation.
There are lots of black actors, because this is usually about black men.
Right.
And there are lots of black men who are dating and or married to black women. It's usually just whoever it is that you want to have. I'm talking about women. Well, not just women, just other black people are like, "Oh, well, why aren't you dating someone black?" Well, girl, I mean, date whoever the fuck you want. So,
right. And I feel that 100%. And I support that 100%. But it's one of those things where you just kind of take notice of the moves, because he had been dropped from a lot of different acting gigs and opportunities. and things that were going well in his life. And then all of a sudden now you resurface and now you are doing it the
Right.
black way. So,
And it just also feels to me like, you know, two things can be true at one time, because, you know, there's some stuff that has come out, which I'm not in a position to validate, that, you know, he's like a serial abuser.
right.
And so it could be entirely true that he did not touch this woman in the way that she claims, because, you know, crazy attract crazy. So, you know, we just never know what happened between two people.
We're three when we talk about Jussie, but I'm not
Right. But if for all of these people to drop him like that, something ain't right in the buttermilk.
At all.
Because they were all like, yup, time to cut bait. So either he's been a dick on set, like maybe like during Ant-Man and the Wasp, he was a dick on set, but they had invested too much money, so they had to sort of deal with it. And now that the shit is public, they're like, yep, we can cut bait. Or just more information is out there that they're just not making public yet, because these studios have invested way too much money in Jonathan Majors to just cut over one allegation. And I'm not saying that women shouldn't be believed or that this woman should not be believed, but, you know, looking at the evidence, you know, these people are motivated by money, not because they give a shit about this one particular woman.
Yeah. So that's where we are.
Yeah.
Speaking of Disney, just to remind everyone that the Little Mermaid, starring Halle Bailey, will be opening up on May 25th, and she performed just a couple of days ago at Disney doing the theme song, not the theme song. Well, yeah, the theme song to the Little Mermaid, and one of my favorites. And she was out there at like dark o'clock in the morning, and it was a little chilly, and she was singing. But baby, when I say she wailed and she's hollered and she hit that note, baby did a great job, and she looked amazing, and she sounded amazing. So I'm wishing big things for her with that, because it actually, while the movie, I'm going to go and support it, I can definitely say that I'm okay with most of the movie except for Scuttle. I don't know how I'm going to feel about Awkwafina playing Scuttle, because
I've never seen the movie, so I mean, I've never saw the original, so
it was Buddy Hackett that played Scuttle, and you know that nervous energy that he has, like, Wah!
Yeah.
Awkwafina does not give me that, and I get it. You can take it in a different direction, but that was part of his charm, especially in this little story. Right. And then the last thing, have anybody seen the previews for The Flash? It was originally advertised on June 14th, which is my birthday, just so y'all know that. I'm just going to remind y'all, you know, because it's the whole 30 days of
we will never forget that.
But they've now switched it over to June 16th, because most of the times in the summertime, they usually release stuff on Wednesday nights. But then they now start moving stuff into Friday nights for the movie premieres. But it's now supposed to come out on the 16th. But baby, The Flash looks
amazing.
Amazing. And I'm here. But this is another person, when we talk about money, the actor playing the Flash had a lot of issues and things that were coming up, and which has been one of the reasons why they've been delaying the movie. But they released it, and baby, listen, I'm here for it, because it looks amazing, and I cannot wait to go see it, because listen, June 14th or 16th, with everyone you're gonna come out on, I'm trying to be there. So yeah, that's my story. That's my story. I'm taking it.
All right, so what's the last up?
Last up, listen, Martha Stewart, 81-year-old Martha Stewart, has become the oldest Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover model. Listen, Snoop's BFF, Miss Martha all the way Hood Stewart, has been selected by Sports Illustrated to grace the cover of their legendary swimsuit issue. Again, like I said, she's the oldest cover model of the swimsuit edition, and this started back in 1964. She's one of 4 women to highlight this year's campaign, which according to Sports Illustrated, will celebrate 28 incredible women. The cover model list for 2023 also includes Megan Fox, Kim Petras, and Brooks Nader. Stewart is not only a television icon, but she's also a best-selling author and a former model, though she hasn't done much swimsuit modeling lately. But, you know, she did a great job. And listen, I shout out and kudos to the photographer and to Martha Stewart, because, baby, When I tell you she knows her angles,
Exactly.
Miss Martha Stewart knows her angles. And when I say she's showing what she wants to show and covering what she wants to cover, she looks amazing. But this right here, her face looks amazing right here.
Yes.
Get into it. She done got a little thigh out, a little toe point and everything. She got a little knee out. Come on, Miss Martha. She got a little red bathing suit on with her hands specifically placed. And look at her, giving cat on a hot tin roof right here with a little
very that.
But this hair has been doing it the entire picture thing, the entire picture layout for me. Listen, she's doing it. This right here is the one that got me. She was posed up, and I said, "Baby, you better go ahead and do it. You better give a little titty, take a little back, give a little titty, take a little back, and show me at the same time." But yeah, she did a great job, and this was a cute picture as well. I appreciate this because listen, a big hat will get you all the time.
Right.
Come on, Martha. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Got a little cleavage out and everything. Come on, Miss Martha.
This is giving easy breezy, beautiful cover girl.
Check her out. Got a little toes out and everything.
Now we're starting to see repeats. Okay. So it was this. Oh, this I love this one.
Had cat on a hot tin roof. She's also looking like Bette Midler in that picture for some
little
reason.
bit. So that's it. So now it's just more repeats. So
yeah. So good for her. That's but good for her, and she looks amazing. So
right. So all right. So let's get into this beautiful bean footage.
Listen, Mika, you are a clown and a half. Talking about Martha, did you see her comment?
I saw it. Somebody knocking the paprika off that coochie.
Come on, Mika. Now, Mika, listen. So talking about swimsuits, listen, let me go ahead and give a shout out to you. Anybody that is looking for a custom made and very, very unique and very, very, well, I'm not gonna say very, very tiny, but listen, she does wonderful things with these swimsuits that I've seen. So listen, you might want to look for Tamika on Facebook and find her out because that's another sewing young lady, and she gets it all the way together, and she does that bathing suit thing. So anybody looking for that sort of bathing suit, maybe hit Tamika up because I'm telling you, Mika got it going on with that. So that's my own push for her because I know she does some amazing stuff.
Yes. Well, it's been a lovely evening. I am hungry. I'm gonna get me a little something to eat and then take my ass to bed.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna finish off some chicken and then I'm gonna call it a night and treat myself to a half and half.
A half and half.
Half lemonade, half ice.
Oh, an Arnold Palmer. I thought you meant like something else.
Oh no, just that. No.
Well, with that, we'll say thank y'all for coming out. God bless you and good night.
And